Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at this mouse, and this is the Zeus M1 from Gamdius. This is a mouse they sent over, so a big thank you goes out to Gamdius for sending the mouse over, and I'm really glad they did because this is the type of mouse that I probably wouldn't have bought on my own just because I don't have that much experience with the company, but it's a mouse that I thoroughly enjoyed my time with. And frankly, that's the TLDR here. It's a really nice mouse that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and if you own one and you're using one, you're probably doing pretty well even in your fast-paced games like your FPS games because it is a really solid mouse. So the physical layout of the mouse is pretty simple. You have a left click, a right click, a scroll wheel click. You have these 3 DPI buttons, an up, down, and one of those buttons, the last little third one there, just cycles through all of your DPI settings. And for me, that's a little bit overkill. I really only need one cycle button. So if it was me, I would macro those up arrow and down arrow buttons to something else completely. And we'll get to this here in a little bit, but the Hera software that works with this mouse does allow you to do that. And then of course on the side, you have a forward and backward button for navigating web pages and that sort of thing that you can also macro to whatever your heart's delight would be. On the side of the mouse, you have this sort of rubberized texture that's actually really nice in the hand. It really does prevent you from sliding off of the mouse, especially if you are a palm grip holder like I am. Your hand is going to be almost completely in contact with the mouse and it's not going anywhere, whereas some other mice in this sort of price range, while they might be able to compete with this mouse on the laser sensitivity and on the ability to macro keys and that sort of thing, most of them don't have that sort of nice rubberized texture, which keeps the mouse firmly in your hand, so good job there. As far as the clicks go, the left click and the right click seem to be a little bit more firm than other mice that I've messed with. For example, this is the G602, and maybe it's because you can grip down on the 602 much further with the buttons giving you more leverage to push the actual button down. But the Gamdius mouse seems like it has a heavy click. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. If you're somebody that really does a good job of keeping your fingers off of those buttons while you're in game, then you're not going to accidentally misfire anyways. But if you're like me and you have a palm grip on your mice and your fingers just sort of rest on top of those buttons, it is unlikely that you'll experience accidental clicks on the Gamdius mouse, and I definitely didn't. So good there for me, but for others that don't really have that problem, even with really light clicks, then you might not actually like the heavy sort of touch that you need to press these buttons. And now just a couple of other housekeeping things. The scroll wheel feels just fine. It has some light steps in it, so you won't just continuously scroll past what you're trying to. And it does have a nice click with it as well. And then to address the RGB of this mouse, this is one of those implementations that I actually like because it gives you, with the Hera software, the full ability to customize it to your heart's content. And unlike other Gamdius products, the logo can just be shut off altogether in case you don't like the color that it's displaying. I didn't see a way, and we're going to jump over here to the Hera software now. I didn't see a way in the luminance control to actually control just this this logo. So I have it turned off right now, but I can turn that back on, and it has this sort of breathing effect, but it seems to be a static color, and none of these other options over here really helped me fix that. Like, it's not an RGB light, it doesn't seem like. It's just a static color, so I don't know why they would do that. I think it would have made more sense to make this part of the RGB effect of the entire mouse, but fortunately you can just turn that off, and then you can have full customization of the lighting on the rest of the mouse. And I sort of referenced this earlier, but I did want to mention that during gaming, the mouse felt very natural to me, and part of the reason for that is with its weight management system, it weighs right at about 108 grams, and that's not counting the cable on the scale. You can remove about 8 grams through a bottom trap door that maintains 2 4-gram weights, and pulling those out drops the weight down to about 100 grams, but my Chaos Spectrum mouse weighs right at 108, 109 grams, so I left those weights in because the mouse felt, other than the actual grip of the mouse felt pretty much identical moving around the mouse pad, so I wasn't like overshooting an enemy when I was trying to hit them or anything like that. It felt very natural to me. So if you have a mouse that is between 100 and 110 grams or so, you're going to be able to basically match that weight with this particular mouse. So I guess it's conclusion time now, and in a vacuum, this is a really good mouse to pick up at $40. You're going to be happy with this mouse. The problem is nothing in the market exists in a vacuum, and there's one other mouse on the market right now that is very similar performing to this one. Very similar feel in the hand, has RGB elements as well, but costs a full $15 less right now, and that's the G203 from Logitech. So this is really kind of a toss-up for me. While I do love this mouse, and I think it would be sort of a toss-up if you were handing me a free one and saying, do you want this mouse or the G203? For $15 less, it's a really hard recommendation to make with the Gamdius product. Now, if you find it on sale, or if, because the G203, by the way, is normally more like $35, if the black version on Amazon pops back up to $35, then it's a much more compelling option, because I do think the rubberized grip on the side gives you a little bit more than the G203, which was actually the mouse that I was referencing earlier when I was talking about a similar mouse with a similar price point but doesn't quite give you the same type of grip. I actually think this one feels slightly better in the hand, and it does give you that extra couple of buttons around the DPI toggle buttons to customize with the software. But for $15, I don't think it's adding $15 of value with those features. If the G203 gets back up to $35 and this one maintains a $40 price point, then we're talking about features that might be worth the extra $5. So this will be one of those things, at least in my mind, where you keep an eye on the price, make sure you keep an eye on the price of other mice in a similar price range, and then make an informed decision as a consumer. But that's it for this review. I do want to know from those of you that might actually own this mouse out there, how do you feel about it? Do you like it? What are some of the features maybe that you don't like about it? Let us know all those things in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, hey, give it a like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are very helpful to the channel. I will leave my social media along the bottom of the screen here. And as always, I'll leave a few YouTube videos around the screen as well for you to watch from my channel. I'm Shane with Hoosier Hardware, and I'll see you guys in the next video.